everyone doing today? Good. That was sad. How is everyone doing today? A little better. Okay, so first we're going to introduce our state officers, the 2013-2014 officers. And first we have Cynthia Guevara from Metro Tech High School, and she's our Central rep. And next we have Courtney Rafnian. She is a freshman at GCU, and she's our Northern Regional rep. And next we have Jordan Noliner from Greenway High School, and she's our secretary. And we have Ashley McGuire from Mountain View High School in Mesa, and she's our vice president. And I'm Hannah Gangemi, and I attend Greenway, and I'm the state president for this year. On behalf of the Arizona FEA, I would like to officially open the 2014, wrong date, FEA State Conference and Competitions and say welcome to all of you, and thank you for being here. You are in for an exciting 2 days of competitions, amazing speakers, workshops, and so much more. And first, I'd like to recognize some very distinguished guests who are attending our conference today. First, we have Dan Brown, Deputy Associate Superintendent of CTE. Jan Bright, Curriculum Supervisor at CTE. Chelsea Inman, Education Professions Program Specialist. And a few of our advisory board members. If you guys will please stand to be recognized. Advisory board. Yeah, advisory board members, sorry.
And now I would like to introduce Dr. Kimberly Laprade. Dr. Kimberly Laprade has been the Dean for the College of Education since 2010. She is an alumnus of GCU. She earned her Bachelor of Arts degree with a double major in English, Writing, and Sociology in 1990, and her Master of Education degree in 2000. She holds a teaching certificate and a principal certificate from Arizona, and earned her PhD in Educational Leadership from Capella University. She has been an educator in and out of the classroom for more than 20 years. Her area of concentration include best teaching and assessment practices and instructional leadership. Dr. Laprade is married and has 4 grown children and 2 dogs. In her spare time, she loves to sail, read, cook, and exercise. She also enjoys traveling. Her favorite trips involve the ocean. Dr. Laprade couldn't be here today, but she sends this message to all of us at our FEA State Conference.
Good morning. On behalf of Grand Canyon University's Executive Leadership Team and the College of Education, I am so pleased to welcome you to Grand Canyon University and to the 2014 Arizona Future Educators Association Conference. We are so excited and thrilled to have you a part of these next 2 days and host all of your activities. Teaching is a noble profession, and it is also a calling for those that want to serve our children and youth, our future generations. I hope that you will enjoy the sessions, support your classmates, and compete in all fairness and take advantage of all the various opportunities. It's going to be a wonderful, tremendous 2 days. Thank you.
Hello. At this time, we would like to draw your attention towards the back of the dining hall so we can take a look at our awesome chapters, and we will be entering from the parade of flags and our roll calls. So if you guys would like to come to the west side of the stage when you guys are ready, and we can go ahead and get it, starting with Aqua Freya High School. So if we can have Aqua Fria please come to the side of the stage so we can start for the roll calls and the parade of flags.
So I am Rebecca and this is Griffin and we are from Cactus High School.
I'm Maya and we're from Mountain View.
Kira and Kaylee from Dobson.
I'm Josie, and this is Cindy, and we're from Florence High School.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is Alex, and we're from Douglas High School.
Hi, I'm Bethany and this is Raven and we're from Greenway High School.
Good morning, everyone. I am Giovanna, and this is Eileen, and we are from Metro Tech High School.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and this is Sammy, and we're from Raymond S. Kellis High School.
I'm Liana, and this is Brianna, and we're from Red Mountain High School.
Hi, I'm Samia, and this is Diana, and I'm from Washington High School.
Hi, I'm Alicia. This is Ashley. We're from Willow Canyon High School.
I'm Sammy, and this is Rebecca from Pinyon High School.
I'm Sydney, and this is Sarah, and we're from Bradshaw High School.
I'm Ashley, this is Jocelyn, and this is Lydia, and we're from Grand Canyon University.
At this time, can we get a round of applause for our three main sponsors for this event, for this conference? Grand Canyon University, SRP, and the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Thank you for all of those wonderful flags. You guys can set them in the back, and representatives from Grand Canyon will pick them up, and they will be displayed on the arena from the balcony. Now I would like to welcome the GCU New Life Singers that will be performing the national anthem. Please stand. standing for our FEA motto. Sorry. Repeat with me. I will pursue excellence in preparing to be a future teacher of Arizona. I hold to the highest standards and ethics and will uphold the mission and responsibilities of everything. I will represent myself, my school, and the Arizona FEA with my best effort, attitude, and commitment. Thank you. You may now be seated.
At this time, it is with great honor that I introduce to you our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Nick Clement. Nick Clement recently retired after serving 9 years as a superintendent of Flowing Wells School District in Tucson, Arizona. Dr. Clement has presented and been published nationally in the areas of after-school programs, marketing, consumer service, and brain-based teaching. Currently, Dr. Clement is a member of the AASA Executive Consultant Program. In his 37-year career, Dr. Clement has also served as a special education teacher, high school assistant principal, junior high principal, high school principal, and assistant superintendent. Dr. Clement earned his doctorate in educational administration at the University of Arizona, his master's degree in educational administration at the University of Nevada, and his bachelor's degree in the University of Michigan. Immediately following his retirement, Dr. Clement was appointed to the Ernest McFarland Citizens Chair in Education by the Dean of the College of Education at Northern Arizona University. In this endowed full-time faculty position, Dr. Clement is responsible for teaching and advocating for education throughout Arizona and the nation. Dr. Clement has been a leader in developing and expanding after-school opportunities for all students. Since 2001, he has written and received over $800 million in 21st Century Community Learning Center grants, which allowed the district to develop and sustain nationally recognized after-school programs for all students, along with expanding adult literacy programs for school district parents. Preparing students to be future ready has also been a high priority for Dr. Clement. As superintendent, he initiated a number of programs designed to increase graduation and college entrance rates, including expansion of career technology courses, developing a strong partnership with IBM Tucson, creating a robotics program, and launching the 100% initiative. Dr. Clement is also active in his community and serves as the chair for the American Heart Association and is on the board of Flowing Wells Extension Program Incorporation, along with being a lifelong member of the Tucson Optimist Club. During his career, Dr. Clement was awarded the FFA Administrator of the Year, ASA Distinguished Administration Award, ASA National Superintendent of the Year, National Community Education Association Distinguished Administrator Award, and the Arizona Music Educators Association Advocacy. So finally, please help me in giving Dr. Nick Clement a warm Arizona FEA welcome.
Well, a presenter's worst nightmare. I started getting the sneezes over here. So I'm honored to be here. This to me is the ultimate presentation. I do these all over the nation, but this is very special because you are the future. I can't emphasize that enough. We need you in the classroom. So I'm going to start right away, right out the bat, encouraging you to take this path. Take the path of teaching because kids need you. We all need you, and you are the future. So let me talk a little bit about teaching. I think we need to, is this working? I'll let him work on that. But, you know, the first thing that teachers have to do is make sure that their students can hear me and see me, right? I mean, there's simple things, but if they can't hear you and they can't see you, the learning's not going to happen. So, with that said, I'm going to do something. All I want you to do is do what I do. Just watch me and do what I do. This is my test to make sure you can see me and hear me. Here we go. Everybody, hands out. Ready? Not bad for the first time. We want to be all one. Ready? One more time. All right. Everything you got to do as a teacher, you got to be tricky. You always got to be one trick ahead of your kids. But just like those video games, they learn your tricks. So you got to always be tricky. One more time. Ready? Fast learning class. Ready? Whoa! We'll do a small one. Ready? Here we go. Pat on the back, play along with the presenter. So, let me talk about teaching a little bit. So teaching is one of those professions, you never get to that perfection. You're always working on it. I've been in this profession for 37 years, and I am still working on my lesson. It's just that's the beauty of the profession, is every day you're going to go home, and you're going to think, how can I make this lesson better? How can I make it better? And you've got to practice. It takes practice, practice, practice. So, I'll give you a little story about how this profession is always about getting better, and if you get out of practice, what can happen? So, a couple years ago, I decided I needed to get back in the classroom for a day. I was superintendent, and I decided to rattle off my day. So I was going to take a day of my time, and I would be the substitute for a teacher who got drawn, okay? And I would take their lesson plan, and I would be the teacher for the day. Cool. So they had the drawing in a big district meeting, and a second grade teacher chooses me. I said, second grade, no problem. All right? I deal with a board, $32 million budget. Yeah, I can handle second graders for the day. So, longest day of my life, okay? Because, first of all, I didn't have a relationship with those second graders. They didn't know me, okay? You've got to know your students. And they didn't know me. And the first thing that happened is they got name tags, lanyards. Well, they didn't normally wear lanyards with a name tag. And to a second grader, if I get a lanyard with a name tag, that can only mean one thing. We're going on a field trip. No, you're having the superintendent be your substitute. And look here, I'm not making this up. He looks up to me and said, well, what's a superintendent? So I knew I was thinking, this isn't going to be as easy as it looks. So, and it wasn't. We were late for the first assembly, and then I had this lesson plan for reading. And I was going to have the best reading circle ever. I was hoping the principal would come in when I was doing my reading circle, because I was going to do my famous but rarely ever seen reading pig. See? I didn't get no ooh at all, but I was excited. I thought this on paper, and that's the thing about teaching. You do your lesson plan, and you hope it goes the way you plan, but it doesn't always go the way you plan. So, I did my lesson plan, I got my reading pig, and here was the drill. I was going to take my reading pig, and I told the kids, I'm going to read a book to you. And every kid gets to hold the reading pig. And when I finish a page, you pass the reading pig to the next person. Hey, I had 25 first graders. I had, 25 pages in a book. They're going to love this. They're going to love it. So I start off. I give Colin, the first kid, the reading pig. What do you think Colin does with the reading pig? He starts to do what a second grade boy does to a reading pig that's kind of rubbery. He starts to whack the thing. He starts to give it a massage. Wow, at that moment, I knew I was in trouble. I was pig committed. I told those 25 kids that they're all going to get to hold the pig, and I knew it was going to be bad. So the only strategy I have is to read fast. So I start reading as fast as I can, and now it's time for Colin to give up the reading pig to the little girl next to him. You think Colin wants to give up the pig? Absolutely not. You think the little girl wants the pig? Of course she wants the pig. It's the reading pig. And now we get this argument. Teacher, Kyle, give me the reading pig. And then I get this, oh my gosh. That's for 25 students. Okay? See, teaching is something you always have to practice. You have to have relationships with those kids. It was the longest day. I get to the end of the day. I got 15 minutes left with no more lesson plan. Now, 15 minutes to a second grader is like dog years. 1 minute is equal to 7 minutes. I got nothing. And the kids are going crazier than they normally are. They normally were. And finally, somebody said, hey, mister, you know any magic? I'm thinking, oh, I only know one magic trick. And I said, yes, but you got to get in your chairs, you got to be quiet so I can do the magic trick. Boom! They're all in their chairs and all quiet. Oh, what? I should have been started right off with the magic and done it all day. But, so I had one magic trick. It was the disappearing pencil. So I said, okay, I got to stretch this. Be really quiet, and I'm going to make the pencil disappear. Everybody look at the pencil, and then when I nod, you count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I get it. Ooh, and I remember they're second graders. All right, be second graders. And then I go 3, 2, 1. Ooh, except one voice. I'm not making this up. In the back. Guess who it is? Colin. He said, is that all you got? So, I've been working on this. I'm going to find if Colin was promoted. I'm going to find him in 5th grade, and I'm going to come and show him that I got something more. So, I need a helper. Anybody want to come up and be Colin? Come on up, sir. You're going to be Colin, all right? Come right up here on stage, right there. Come on right up, Colin. You're actually following directions. Take the pencil. Hey, Colin, you're now in 5th grade, right? You're going to have a lot of work in 5th grade. You think that pencil's big enough to do all the work your teacher's going to give you? No. It is not. I'm going to help you out, Colin. Because even though you gave me a lot of, you know what, I'm going to help you out, because you're going to need a bigger pencil. Yep. So you hold that pencil right there. I'm going to give you something that will help you, a bigger pencil, all right? So you just take that pencil and put it in this bag. Just drop it right in. You are taking that Colin thing a little too far. All right. So, what I want you to do, Colin, is give me your magic word, your best magic word.
Alakazam.
Alakazam. Really good. All right. I'm going to get you a pencil. That big enough for you?
No.
That big enough for you? How about that, Colin? No, you're going to have more work. I'll tell you, it's not big enough for you. You think, oh my gosh, we're going to have a 2-story building for this pencil. That big enough for you? There's your pencil, Colin. That's going to be your 5th grade pencil. Give it up for Colin. Hey, Colin, I got something for you. Hey, Colin, you're going to need to use your brain. So, that Clark test is coming up and all that other stuff, so here's a brain for you to really use. So speaking of the brain, I'm going to talk a little bit in the next 10 minutes about the difference you're going to make as a teacher when it comes to student learning. And the difference you're going to make is the fact that you know as much as you can about how the brain works. Because the more you know about the brain, the more effective teacher you're going to be. Okay? So how many know remember your junior high locker combination? Okay? Why? Why is it that it's about 1 in 100. I've been doing some research with groups. It's about 1 in 100 know their junior high locker combination. Why is it that right now in your life, Jerry, do you know your junior high locker combination? Okay? So why doesn't Jerry know his junior high locker combination? It's because the brain has your back. Every one of your brain is working all the time. It's the energy hog, it's the energy pig of your brain. It's always working. And it's deciding what you need and what you don't need. And it's decided that you don't need your junior high locker combination. How many know your PIN number for your bank? Don't tell it to me. Look at that, every one of you. It's because your brain says you need this. This is important to you. It has meaning to you. That's how your brain works. It's got your back when you don't even know it. And as a teacher, you need to know how that brain works. So I'm going to give you the brain's PIN number. Okay? It's 1965. And I use that because I'm getting older and I have to remember things. So I use 1965 because it was the first time I went to Disneyland. I still have my Disneyland hat from that visit. Cool, huh? It's even got my name stitched in it, spelled correctly. It's from the Mad Hatter. I love that day. I can tell you everything about that day. My brain loved that day, so it will never let me forget it. So I'm going to give you the brain's PIN number and hope you don't forget it. That's what I want you to walk out of here. 1965. And here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to take each number, and I'm going to give you a way to remember that number, how it relates to brains and teaching. So here's the first one. We're going to take the 1, put 4 zeros in back of it. It's 10,000 hours. Think about that just a minute. 10,000 hours and what that has to do with the brain. Ask yourself the question, then quickly tell your neighbor. Tell your neighbor what you think 10,000 hours has to do with the brain and teaching and learning. Quickly, go. And can I have your attention, please? Awesome. Were you guys lonely? Did you miss me? I haven't been over on this side of the room. So, if some of you said anything to do with practice, that's what I was looking for. 10,000 hours. The research is showing that in order to become an expert in anything, you need at least 10,000 hours of practice. And you need guided practice. You need independent practice. You need correct practice. Because here's how the brain works. Got those billions of neurons. And they're firing. And they want to talk to each other. And there's a thing called, in order to wire, you have to fire. In order for those neurons to work together, they have to fire. And how do they fire? With practice. Practice, practice, practice. And many of you are starting your 10,000 hours in teaching right now. You're practicing the art and science of teaching. And your brain will groove that swing. It will find techniques. And the more you practice them, the better you're going to be in front of that classroom in the teaching. And the kids, students need practice, practice, practice. You need a lot of practice. Effective teachers, legendary teachers set up their classes so that brain gets to practice a lot. You get a lot of firing and wiring. So there's the 1. 10,000 hours. Here's the next one. Now I want you to stand up when you do this. I want you to go 9-minute rules. Give it a little rules. So everybody stand up. And on the count of 3, say 9-minute rules. 1, 2, 3. 9-minute rules. One more time. 9-minute rules. All right. You can sit back down. Think about this. Why does 9-minute rule? Tell your neighbor. 9-minute rules. If I can have your attention, please. You guys are good. And why does 9-minute rule? It's your attention span. It's the brain's attention span. That's huge. It's a huge part of teaching and learning. It doesn't mean you can't teach longer than 9 minutes. What it means is you've got to make it different. You've got to get the executive function of the brain to decide that this is my bank PIN number. The teacher has to make it real. It has to make it meaningful. Because your brain is this big, powerful travel agent that can take you anywhere it wants to at any time. And as a teacher, I've got to keep you here. I was interviewing a teacher back when I was principal. And it was the best interview answer I ever heard. I asked the teacher, Ken Fitzpatrick, to tell me why we should hire you. That was the question. And Mr. Fitzpatrick said, you should hire me because kids, students in my class don't get the red spot. Thank you for the interview. Well, everybody on the committee just kind of looked. They looked at me, I looked at them. We didn't know what he was talking about. So I had to ask, Mr. Fitzpatrick, what do you mean kids in your class don't get the red spot? This time he didn't answer. He was sitting at the table. I'll be Mr. Fitzpatrick. He simply did this. And then he looked up and he drew that circle and he said, students in my class don't get the red spot. We hired him. Right on the spot. When you go into his classroom, his students were always engaged. He was always making sure he followed the 9-minute rule when it came to teaching. And here's another thing about the 9-minute rule. You can multitask, but you can't multi-focus. As teachers, we want you to focus. So I'm going to do a little experiment. Well, here's what we don't want. I saw this t-shirt. Actually, our CTE kids were making this shirt. Study the act of texting, eating, and watching TV with an open textbook nearby. It's clever, but that's not what we want in the classroom. So, I want you to do is, I'm going to see if we can do an experiment. And I know your advisor maybe told you to leave these in the car, but if you have your cell phone, take it out and start texting. And here's what I want you to do. While you're texting, look at this picture at the same time and tell me how many faces are in these rocks. And I want you to get 100% on both. Go. Text. Number of faces. You gotta do both. 20 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. If you said, number 1, you needed to finish your text, and number 2, you need to be able to count that there were 12 faces and find every one of them. So, here's my point. I made you multitask. You could multitask, but you couldn't get 100% on both of the tasks. Teachers, all of you in here, with your 10,000 hours of practice, you're going to figure out how to make sure your lessons are really focused for the students, that they don't have to multitask. So we got the 9. We got the 1. 6 hour, left it blank. I want you to take a minute, turn to your neighbor, fill in the blank. Brain, what does it have to do with teaching and learning? Go. Okay, time. May I have your attention, please? You could have had 2 answers that I was looking for. One is sleep. Okay? You actually maybe need a little more, but the brain thrives on a good night's sleep. They've done studies now where they sleep deprive students, and it's incredible how hard it is to focus and learn when you don't have proper sleep. Same thing with teachers. In order to be a focused, effective teacher, you need your sleep. I know I'm sounding like your mom or your dad, but it's true. The other answer I'm going to spend a little more time on is 6-hour fitness. There's a real strong connection between brain fitness and fitness of the body. You need 6 hours of fitness. It was hard to go to the bathroom. And most of all, you didn't get to walk around. Your brain hated that and told you by making you feel kind of not great. Our classrooms, and you're out there, when you get into classrooms, don't make your class a 3-hour flight. Get movement in your classes. Get kids moving around. I'm going to do this right now. I want you just to stand up, and I have a couple things I'm going to throw out to you. You're not all going to get one, but I just want you to stand up a minute and just kind of wiggle around a little bit. Hey, I got some brains coming. I got some shirts. Okay, go ahead and sit down. See, if I could have your attention, please. That took 1 minute out of the presentation. You got your blood flow flowing. You got more blood to your brain. Teachers need to do that. They need to build into their lesson movement. We all need our 6 hours. So see if somebody can know with this. I eat mainly grass. I drink up to 56 gallons of water. I can stand underwater for 5 minutes. Hippo. Good job. The hippopotamus. Okay, here's another one. Who am I? I help consolidate new memories. Teachers are memory machines. You're creating memories every day. You can't leave emotions out of it because of me. I'm the original GPS. You know what that is? It's your hippocampus. It's a part of your brain that teachers can change. You know, there's a myth that your brain doesn't grow new brain cells. It's a myth. They did a study, and they took one big group that didn't exercise much. They did a memory test. They actually measured the hippocampus. And then they had that one group walk 40 minutes a week. That's it. 40 minutes a week, the other group didn't walk. And then they did the post-test. Here's what they found. Better memory, and they didn't expect this, but the hippocampus in the exercise group actually physically grew. That's incredible. Teachers change brains. Pure and simple. But you've got to know the 1965, and you've got to put it to use in your classrooms. And the last one, 1965, which means we're coming to the end of the presentation, right? Your brain's actually pretty happy. Some of your brains probably say, you know what, come on, move. I want you to move. I've got to keep you here. So I want you to think about all 5 all the time and quickly turn. Talk to your neighbor about what that has to do with brain and teaching and learning. All 5 all the time. Go. If I could have your attention, please. You said the 5 senses. You are right. Now let me talk about this just a moment. See, your brain is designed to make sense of the world. That's what it's there for. It's designed to keep you safe. It's designed to figure out things. When the brain sees a problem, it needs to figure it out. And the brain's designed for all the senses to come together to give it a 3D picture of the problem. So as teachers, we need to make sure that we're engaging all the senses in activities. Why do you remember? I'll tell you why you remember your field trips. You could probably tell me, just like I could tell you that day in Disney in 1965, I wouldn't even have to study. I could write a 5-page essay about my day in Disney. I bet you could do the same thing about a 5th grade field trip. It's because your teacher got your senses involved in touching and feeling and smelling. The scent is a powerful learning tool if you pair it up with learning. I was in the age where we did dissections, and there was this thing called formaldehyde. And the smell was, it wasn't a great smell, but it was a memorable smell. So every time I smell that, if I ever even thinking about it, okay? Effective teachers, you, every one of you, think about that in your lessons. How do I engage the senses? How many of you eat ketchup every day? How many like ketchup? Okay? Here's the reason you like ketchup. Ketchup has a balance of the taste sensations. Sweet, sour, bitter, savory. It has all 5. Kind of balance. And your brain says, I kind of like that. I like balance. Every now and then I like something really savory, like lobster, but don't give it to me and don't put it on your fries. That was supposed to be a joke, but I'm getting older and I understand. So, make sure your lessons have all 5 senses involved. And you control that. You can control that. So, 1965. Let's kind of review. What's the 1? 10,000 hours. What's the 9? Do the 9-minute rule. 9-minute rule. All right, 6 hour. Awesome. And all 5 all the time. Okay. You got it. And now I want to see, here's a teacher bringing the senses, bringing the Desert Museum in Tucson to the classroom. You think those kids are going to remember that day? Absolutely. Okay? Here's what, if you ask students what the perfect teacher is, what's the teacher that really gets the brain involved? I did this for the last 3 years. I've asked elementary kids, what do they like? What's the perfect teacher? We're all striving to be the perfect teacher. Here's what they said. Someone who's not mean, interact with students, have a good relationship, no favorites. Here's another one. Patient, fun, balanced, strict but not too strict, prepared, focused, listens. These are your students. They're going to say the same thing. We need to be this person. And this is my favorite of all times. Look at the start. Doesn't favoritize students. Spell check won't like it, but I love it. That's that idea of being fair in the classrooms. You understand fair. Make sure you understand it when you teach, because it's very difficult to make sure you have a fair classroom. And now, I'm going to end by celebrating you. The fact that you are possibly making this commitment to an exceptional career for you personally. It's an important career. It's the future. And so I want to celebrate you. This is for you. So I'm going to celebrate the way that I did growing up, when I graduate or anything that would happen in my life. My parents, we'd go down. You do change brains. We go down to the lake. This is where I grew up. And we go down to the lake, and we'd send a pontoon boat out with some fireworks. I know they were illegal in Michigan, but, don't tell. So we're going to recreate that. I'm going to have you at the lake, and we're going to recreate a firework, okay? Well, the first thing at the lake is there are some frogs, right? Frogs at the lake? I don't have one for everybody, I'm sorry. Here's frogs. And there are ducks at the lake. Ducks. These are a little harder. I got 2 more shirts. Oh look, a couple more ducks. Okay. Here's how it works. All right, everybody. First, we're going to practice this. First, we got to set the stage. We hear some ducks. Now, out the lake, we hear some frogs. Okay, now, we're going to light the firework. And here's how it's going to work. We're going to practice it once. You guys, I know I'm violating the 9-minute rule, but here it goes. You go, so everybody sizzle. And then you go, boom. Boom. And then you look up and go, ooh. Ah. Excellent. Now we're going to do it for real. You got to do it the FEA way. So you want all the other students at Grand Canyon to hear you. Okay? And most important, this is your celebration for your commitment and your focus. You being here. You showed up. And that is so important to the future of our kids. So here we go. Are you ready? What? Ready? Sizzle.
On behalf of Arizona FEA, we would like to give you this token of our appreciation for all you do for education in Arizona and Arizona FEA.
I think I have one more slide. So here's what I would like, because I'm still trying to be a better teacher. Some point today, tomorrow, if you can go to this website, brainonschool.com, and I have a little click on feedback, and provide me some feedback on my presentation. That will help me become a better teacher, just like you are getting feedback today on becoming a better teacher. Remember, we're always trying to get to that legendary status, and it takes improving every day. Again, thank you very much.
At this time, I would like to introduce our first student speaker of the conference, who is one of the 3 finalists in the FEA Moment Speech Contest. Please help me in welcoming Sayada Makanovich, sorry about that, from Washington High School.
When you ask children what they want to be when they grow up, their answers vary from day to day. Some want to be astronauts, others want to be the president, but most children have this in common. They are curious of what the future holds. I did not lose this childlike curiosity until my junior year in high school, when I realized teaching was a career I wanted to pursue. Growing up, teaching was a huge part of my family. All my aunts were teachers, as well as my grandpa. They taught in Bosnia, where teaching is one of the best jobs anyone can have. Knowing this, I always had the inclination of becoming a teacher. I also had many other dream jobs, like an architect and a designer, but none of them seemed right. As my sophomore year came to a close, my AP history teacher told the class about a program the school offered, Education Professions. This program allowed students to learn fundamentals of being a teacher, as well as interning in a class. As soon as this opportunity arose, I signed up. Although teaching was still something I was unsure of, this idea allowed me to get my feet wet with teaching. As my junior year started, we learned about classroom expectations, child development, and lesson building. I was intrigued by how much teachers did behind the walls of the classroom. Then our internship at Maryland Elementary started. Wanting to be a high school teacher, I decided to intern in a 7th grade science class. Soon, I became astonished by how much teachers really do. When we started our internship, I would come home every day and tell my parents how excited students. I could not believe that a few years younger than me looked up to me as a great adult figure. The feeling was heartfelt. I became a role model. In that moment, I realized teaching was something I could see myself pursuing in the future. This year, as a senior, I was sure of 2 things. 1, I wanted to become a high school teacher, and 2, I wanted to take our education professions class again. This year, I was put into a 5th grade Read 180 classroom. Although 7th grade was awesome, the 5th graders I began to work with opened my eyes to the true magic of being an educator. Every day when I would walk into the class, they would greet me openly, and they would always willingly ask me questions. I never in my life had imagined that I would have such a great impact on someone's life. The last moment that reinforced my ideas of becoming a teacher was the day before winter break. I had made goodie bags for all the students, and after passing them out, I had realized that I would soon have to be away from the class for 18 days. I had gotten so used to seeing the students every single day that I forgot that one day I would have to leave the class. As future educators, we have the opportunity to change a child's life. Children spend a great deal of time in school, and the adults around them impact their lives. I have not only learned this through amazing teachers I've had, but I've seen it happen with the students I work with. School is the foundation for success. Teaching may not be the best paying job, but it is the most rewarding. No amount of money can buy the smile on a 5th grader's face when he advances to a new reading level, or a 7th grader's joy when she aces her science project. Teaching is a selfless job, and I agree. As teachers, we can change the lives of students that we will have in the future, and I cannot wait to change the lives of students that I will have. In a few months, I will graduate. Many of my friends will go off to medical school and law school, and I will pursue my dreams of becoming a teacher. While my friends save lives, I will be the one that changes them, and I believe that is the best job anyone can have. Just like the curious child, my thoughts will continue to change and grow, but one thing will remain the same. If you ask me what I want to be, I will proudly answer a teacher. Thank you.
At this time, we will be presenting your candidates for the 2014-2015 FEA State Office. Your new 2014-2015 Arizona FEA State Officers will be introduced to you tomorrow morning. The 2014-2015 FEA State Officer team will be presenting a short video. May I have Kaylee Harris, Tia Rhonda, and Moesha Crawford please come to the stage. Please watch the videos as they are played.
Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. As future educators, we have the power to be an influence to students. Teachers are the ones who will build children up and teach them what they need to know in order to succeed in life. Without educated, successful teachers, future generations will not thrive to their full potential.
I'm Kaylee Harris from Mesa High School. I love FEA. I am a dedicated hard worker who has a passion for teaching children. If I'm elected, I plan to help every student reach their full potential so that they may succeed in everything they do. I will do my best to represent FEA and everything they stand for. Please vote for me to serve you on the 2014 FEA State Officer Team.
Hi. So I came into FEA at the beginning of this year totally new to the idea of teaching, and over the last year I've learned that this is where I want to be, and I've really motivated myself to become so involved in what it was, and through that I learned that I wanted to be able to continue FEA to other schools, and that's kind of my goal when I run for office here. I want to help FEA spread out all over the place. So if you vote for me, I will help FEA spread out, and I will help many more students become more involved around Arizona.
Good morning. My name is Moesha Crawford, and I desire to be your next Vice President of our Arizona FEA chapter. I am qualified for this position of Vice President due to my various leadership skills. I am currently serving as Washington High School's junior class Vice President, and I am a member of Link Crew and our National Honor Society chapter. As your future Arizona FEA Vice President, I will endeavor to make positive changes for our chapter by sharing the impact that FEA has had on me. I hope to inspire students to achieve greatness and find their own path to leadership. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. This quote by John Maxwell demonstrates the importance of working with others to achieve their full potential. I believe that our future begins now, because soon we will influence the young people in our classrooms and watch them grow into productive members of society. I have worked throughout my life to inspire the lives of people around me, and I would like to continue that journey as your new FEA Vice President. Thank you.
Wow, this is so amazing just to see all of you here today, to hear Dr. Clement, what a powerful message, and to hear from your students who are here to serve you over the next year. It truly is amazing. What I thought I'd do today is to share, our theme this year is Journey to Excellence, and I thought it would be only appropriate as this will be my last conference with all of you. I'm going to be moving on, and after 41 years in this profession, I thought it would be great just to look back and see what one life can do to impact so many. Before I do, I'd like to encourage you, all of you in your check-in this morning received a pen and a program. I'm going to be sharing 6 life lessons with you this morning. I'd like to have you write those down as I speak with you this morning. I think these will help you as you go on your journey to excellence in education. While you're doing that, I'd like to share with you that there's only 2 tools that you need in life, and that is WD-40 and duct tape. If it doesn't move and it should, use the WD-40. If it moves and it shouldn't, use the duct tape. My journey began in Mrs. Klein's first grade class, and at that time I was wide open. I wanted to learn, I wanted to know, I wanted to just explore and learn and figure out what life was really all about. And life went on until about the 7th grade, and that was my first aha moment. I was quite a jock. I was in a lot of athletics and it was pretty good at it. And usually I was the captain of one of the two teams. You know how it goes. You choose sides, and there's always the skinny dude with glasses and very uncoordinated, and the very heavy-set kid that nobody wants on their team, but somebody's got to put them on their team. And for whatever reason, I always chose Brian. He was a very obese student, and he came up to me after one of the games and he said, "Gary, I'm really getting tired of being picked on. I was wondering if maybe you would work with me to help me get in shape, and I really want to make the 8th grade football team next year." And so I said, "Sure." So we began our journey, and we started working out every day, working on conditioning and working on some of his skills, and we were having a great time. Long story short, after about a year, Brian was very physically fit. He not only made the 8th grade team, but he was a starter, and he went on to play varsity football. And through that experience, I realized that I could make a difference in someone else's life. And I knew from that moment on, I wanted to be a teacher. And that was my very first life lesson. Life lesson number 1, there's great joy and satisfaction when you meet the needs of others. As I moved on through high school and into college, I really didn't have a lot of parental support. They really didn't encourage me to go to college. I went to ASU on an athletic scholarship, and it was a tough journey. The very first year, I was playing intramural basketball and sprained my ankle severely. I ended up losing my scholarship, so I had to go to work full-time, working 40 hours a week and taking 18 semester hours. And when that day finally came, when I graduated, I was so overjoyed that now I get to do what I really have been wanting to do since the 7th grade. My very first job, I was a physical education teacher at Orangewood Elementary in the Washington Elementary School District. Can anybody guess what my starting salary was in 1974? $7,200. I was thrilled. I thought, how am I going to spend all this money? I said, maybe someday I'm going to make as much as $10,000 if I stick with it. And one of the things I realized early on, in a school district of 34 schools, we were last in the district in physical fitness. And this really bothered me because fitness was a priority. And just like Dr. Clement said, I really believe that there's a strong connection between physical fitness and academics. And I'll demonstrate that here in just a minute. I created an award and recognition system. I had my supreme athletes pair up with my below average fitness students, and they began to come in before and after school, and they got excited about fitness and conditioning, and it was just a transformation of our students. In 2 short years, we went from being 34th in our district to being first in the entire country in the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. We had over 65% of our students that earned the Physical Fitness Presidential Award. And one of the things I realized as a byproduct of all of this is our scores were going up, our academic scores, our reading scores were all going up due to the increased physical fitness. And I really believe that believing in students and helping them achieve their goals led me to realize life lesson number 2, that anything is possible with a little bit of encouragement and hard work. I say one of the things I learned early on in teaching is that I didn't know everything. And I realized that there were a lot of great ideas and activities out there that other teachers had. I began to share my successes with other teachers. And when you help others, that led me to life lesson number 3, and that is when you help others succeed, you succeed with them. And I really want to encourage all of you as you go out there on your journey for excellence to share the things that you've learned, share the things that you know, not only with your students, but also with your colleagues. And that'll help them become stronger, it'll help you become stronger, and you will be successful along with them. So it just helped me change a lot of my early strategies for teaching, effective methods, engaging students in improving their performance. and really using those best practice activities for my students. In 1978, actually while I was teaching, I was a racquetball pro. I was a racquetball pro from 1976 to 1979. And I set out, I wanted to find out what my physical limit was. How long could I actually play racquetball? The current record at that time was 60 consecutive hours of racquetball. And so I had this harebrained idea that I'm going to break that record. I'm going to play 100 hours. And so I trained, and I had a strict diet. I had physicians working with me, and we set up this racquetball marathon. We had over 60 local celebrities, the Phoenix Suns, newscasters, radio broadcast personalities, and I was ready to go. After 23 hours, I was exhausted. I thought, I can't do this. I'm so embarrassed. You know, I'm not even close to the record. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to save face? And what was happening at that moment is that I was filling my mind with all kinds of negative things. How I feel, what I think, and that affected my performance and my physical stamina. So I came to this decision. I know I can play at least one more match, so I'm going to play as hard and as best as I can for one more game. And so I got in there and I played, I won. I'm not ready to quit, I'll play one more. And then all of a sudden the endorphins kick in, I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling more energized. I played another one. After 100 consecutive hours of racquetball, I broke the world record by over 40 hours. I played 278 opponents and won 272 games. And so much that we can accomplish through this. In fact, if you got that, okay, let's move forward here a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I want to play a little radio clip from this. That was when I was a racquetball pro. Is there something on that? There we go. Play that little. This is from KOI. This is actually, whoops, back. We haven't got that far yet. There we go. This is you're not going to let me play? Well, I actually embedded in there a live clip from KOI radio. It was pretty entertaining. I guess it's not going to let me do it. Oh well, it was fun. And anyway, I was on the radio, and every so often they would actually announce how close I was, and so when I reached that goal, I was pretty excited, needless to say, and it really helped me realize life lesson number 4, and that is that your thoughts determine your outcomes. And I want you to really think about that for just a minute. Your thoughts determine your outcomes. If I'm focusing on helping others, if I'm focusing on doing my best, if I'm focusing on learning as much as I can learn, think about the outcomes that will happen from those kinds of thoughts. You'll continue to grow, you'll continue to learn, and you'll continue to impact the students that you're working with. And so I encourage you to think about what you're thinking about, because it does determine the outcome of what you do. The next slide, which you've already seen, I became a proud father of 2 children. We adopted both of our children, Joshua and Courtney, in 1987 and 1989. They're adults now, and they're on their own journey to excellence, and really proud of the things that they've done with their life. Due to my success in the classroom, I taught in the classroom for 17 years. I was asked by our school district to join an administrative cadre. And I thought, oh, why not? I'll give it a shot, see what that's all about. And so I got involved in that, and I realized I really like this. I'm pretty good at this. And so for the next 13 years, I became a school administrator. And in the classroom, you impact lots of students. But what I realized as an administrator, not only did I impact students, but I also impacted and influenced teachers, parents, and community members. And so it really helped broaden my field of influence. So it was a new journey, And I began to understand the value of teachers more deeply, how much they influence, how much influence they have on their students, and just the many layers of having a functional school, a school that is thriving and healthy, that has healthy partnerships with parents, students, teachers, and community members. During the course of this journey, as I was the principal here in the Valley, I was getting ready for some in-service just before school with our staff, and I'd gone into the Mayo Clinic to get some rotator cuff surgery done, and my doctor said, "What's that on your arm?" Well, I don't know. So they did a biopsy on it, and I had stage 2 cancer. And they said, "You're going to need to go back and tell your staff that you're going to be coming back this afternoon. You need to say goodbye to your family, because we don't know if you're going to come back. You have about a 50% chance to survive." And that was a real eye-opener, because you really begin to appreciate life in every moment, and you begin to understand the influence that you have on other people and the friends that you have in your life that will come along and support you. And all I could think about was when I was laying there on the table getting ready to go in for the operation is, I hope it's enough. I hope that what I've done is enough. And needless to say, I survived that operation. I'm cancer-free now. And it gave me a new appreciation on life. It made me realize that everything I do matters, that I want to make sure that my life has something to offer to other people. And that led me to life lesson number 5. Appreciate life and make the most out of every day. Whatever you do, always do your best. I want to say that one more time. Life lesson number 5. Appreciate life and make the most out of every day. Whatever you do, always do your best. While I was at Fountain Hills High School, I began to realize that I was spending a lot of time with students that were what's called social behavioral misfits. They just didn't want to be there. They were causing disruption. They were taking away the rights for my other students to learn. And I really felt like there's 97% of our students are doing it right. And we're not doing enough to recognize those students. What can we do to really showcase those students that are doing well? And I came up with this idea of developing a mentorship program. And so I created a curriculum for 3rd grade, 5th grade, and 7th grade to really address social skills, because I really felt that those students were going to become my students, so I wanted to invest in them to get them ready for their journey to high school. And so we developed this curriculum. Our very first year of our program, we had 14 students. That grew to 40 the next year, and then 130. This is a high school of about 800. And what I began to realize was, if we give students the training and the opportunity, they can do amazing things. We give them that responsibility of leadership. We began to go in and work with those 3rd graders, those 5th graders, those 7th graders, and we saw tremendous change. One of the things that happened with the district is we began this articulation between the elementary, the middle school, and the high school, and there was open communication between our teachers. We began to realize that once these students saw the impact that they were having on those students they were working with, a lot of those students wanted to become teachers because they had the opportunity to help to influence another life. And in 2003, I retired from Fountain Hills High School and took our mentorship program. I actually teamed up with a company called Performance Dynamics, and we developed a mentorship program called Ignite. And so we went into about 180 high schools nationwide. And you talk about broadening your influence. At that time, we had about 20 facilitators, and it was amazing to see the opportunity, giving the students the opportunity to develop their leadership, to demonstrate that leadership, and have a positive influence on those other students was truly a remarkable thing. After one of my long 10-day trainings at Gig Harbor, Washington, I'm getting on the plane with one of my fellow facilitators. It was Southwest Airlines, it's the cattle call, you know, and it's kind of, we were like the last ones to sign in, so we got the last 2 seats on the airplane. There was one between an elderly couple in the middle of the airplane, and then there was one way in the back, and I could see there was a mother with a crying baby, and we're looking at each other, and we're just exhausted. It's just like, I just want to sleep. And so I said, you go ahead and take the one here in the middle of the plane. I'll go to the back of the plane. So I sat down and I started getting the child to stop crying, and was playing with him and kind of smiling and laughing. And so I carried on this conversation with this 30-something woman. And so I said, so is Phoenix your home? She goes, well, I live in Glendale. I said, really? So where do you go to high school? She goes, Glendale High School. I go, what grade school did you go to? She goes, American school. And I said, well, do you remember a PE teacher there, Mr. C? And she looks over at me, oh my, Mr. C, oh, it's Mr. C. She starts screaming, and the plane goes hysterical. They think there's something going on, like I'm doing something to this little child or something, and it's like all this commotion, and what's going on? And so we began to talk, and she wasn't one of my star athletes or anything. She's just one of those students in my class, and she began to share the life lessons that she learned being part of my classes. She goes, can you hold on a minute? So she gets her cell phone out, and she calls her friend. She goes, you have no idea who's sitting next to me in the airplane. She goes, who? She goes, Mr. C. And all of a sudden I hear this scream at the other end, like, Mr. C! And it's like, wow. And so she goes, you gotta promise me, you gotta go down to baggage claim after we're done, because some of my friends wanna see you. They haven't seen you in over 25 years. And so I help her with her baby stroller, get her down to baggage claim, and all of a sudden, these 30-something adults, this mob comes running at me screaming, Mr. C, Mr. C! And the airport's going crazy, like, oh, there must be a celebrity here, there's something going on here. And so they're all giving me hugs and just, you know, high fives and thanking me for being their teacher. And that's just one of hundreds of stories I could share with you. And the reason I share that story with you is that you never know the influence that you have on another student's life that's sitting in your classroom. And it may not be that math lesson that you're teaching them, but it may be that personal connection, that relationship that you build with them that shows them that you care, that you're invested in their life, and that they matter. And when you start doing that, I'll tell you some great memories come out of that. That leads me to life lesson number 6, and that is, everything you do for your students matters. And by caring and believing in them, you can impact them more than you realize. And just be intentional. Make sure that you welcome your students into your classroom. Make sure that you pay attention to their likes and their interests, and be concerned about their life. And then when you do that, not only will they learn, but they will respect you and learn a lot more than what's in the lesson plan. While we developed this mentorship program, we began to develop some leadership curriculum and started doing leadership power days for high schools and colleges around the country, and then started doing leadership camps for service learning, and then that led to Jan Wright, the godmother of education professions. This woman, we should all have her stand up and give her a standing ovation because she is the creator of this program. She is amazing. We had many a talk by the campfire at these camps, and really we're sharing some educational philosophies. And when I came on board, she goes, we have this program, Education Professions, and we need a student organization to go with it. And I thought, the two things I'm most passionate about is empowering students for leadership and teaching. And I thought this is just the perfect fit. And so we began to create the Arizona Future Educators Association in 2005. And began with feedback from teachers, from students, and started to design our web page and our advisory board, and getting state officers and developing competitions and having conferences. And it really has been an amazing journey. And so what I want to do is just kind of walk you through very quickly. I have some slides here to kind of show you the growth over the last 9+ years. If you go to the next slide, Mike. We started in 2005, held our first state conference, and we had 218 students. And then this slide is our program enrollment. Started with 795 students in 2005, 2006, and we've grown to almost 4,000 students now. And really excited about this. Our goal is to reach 5,000 students, to have 5,000 students in our program by 2017. FEA-sponsored events. These are events that we host throughout the year, like our officer trainings, our student leadership power days, our fall conferences, our state conferences. You can see that that has increased as well over the years, beginning with 220 and moving up to over 2,100. So that has increased almost 1,000-fold. State conference participation. Again, we started our first year with 218, and that's grown. Now we're well over 500 for our conferences now. The next slide is conference school participation. These are the number of schools that attended. Started with 17, and now I think this year we have 34. I think something like that. So again, that has almost doubled in the 9 years we've had our program. And then the competition participation, we really didn't start our first competition until 2008. We had 6 competitions in 2008. We had 24 students compete that first year. And you can see it's grown from 24 to 83 to 172. Last year was 458. And now we have over 30 competitions. And so we're really excited. Oops, got to back up there. Yeah, that's don't ruin the ending there. Okay, all right. What I'd like to say in closing is that I've really enjoyed serving all of you advisors and students in our program the past 9+ years. I've had the privilege of teaching, facilitating, training, and speaking to over 182,000 students and teachers in my career. It totally has been a journey to excellence, and the influence that this one teacher has had can be duplicated by all of you in this room. You do the math, if each of you were to teach just 20 years, in this room alone we could influence over 1 million students in your career. That's impact. And I can't think of another career that has that opportunity to have that make that kind of difference in other people's lives. And so my challenge to you today is to come on this journey with me. The 41 years that I've had in this profession has created some phenomenal memories, and the assurance that what I did in my life really mattered. And really, this is all any of us can hope for. I'm ready to move on in my journey. I have some other things that I would like to do in the few short years I have left. And I look forward to those new challenges and those opportunities as we go. And so in closing, I just want to say, stay the course. This is your journey to excellence, and don't let the naysayers deter you. One of my life's statements, and I really live by this: if you're not the wind behind my sail, then you're an anchor on my tail, and I have to cut you loose. And so surround yourself with those people that will encourage you, that will lift you up, that will motivate you to do great things. And if you can surround yourself with people like that, you'll have a rich, full life, and you'll look back and just be glad that you had this opportunity to be part of so many others' lives. So God bless you on your journey to excellence. Thanks, everyone.
And on behalf of the state officers, we just wanted to say thank you so much, Gary. One of those people that motivates you to be a better person you were talking about in the end, that's like what you are to all of us. You definitely motivate us to be better people, not only for ourselves, but for all of you guys. And one of our advisory board members, Marjane Gilpatrick, wants to say a few words.
Gary, on behalf of the members of the advisory board, I'm pleased to be here and to acknowledge you for your leadership, for your vision, and for the exemplary work that you've done. Those of you that might not be aware, his work has been exemplary. There are many other states around the country that ask him for advice. They have him come in to train them on this program. It's truly one of the model chapters and model programs that we have. So we really appreciate everything that you've done, and we know you're going to be successful in whatever you choose to do next. So thank you.